Yep.
Okay, just a little bit of driver error there. So I think
No problem.
Joseph
You're
is the
good.
host
All right.
again. Here we
I
go.
see Maggie's raised her hand, so we'll let you say hi, Maggie. Welcome. What's your question?
Okay, there. Now you can probably hear me.
Yes.
Oh, good. Good morning. I have 3 friends that are about to order the WAVwatch. So now they're taking a look. We're looking at stuff on, are they better off to order it separately, or are they better off to order 3 together? Because we notice there's a $500 discount if you order 3. But we have to remember we're all in Canada. So when I ordered my WAVwatch, there was a it got sent to the post office, my local post office. I had to go pick it up because what we have here, I'm just in my file. We have a delivery surcharge, which is a Canadian border thing. I guess it's just like if we travel to the US and buy a dress, we have to pay extra at the border to bring it back. So I don't know if they order. I'm assuming that we are always going to have to go and pick it up at the post office and pay that government surcharge.
Yes, almost everything we've been sending has a surcharge now, or a tariff,
Right, okay.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, Joseph or John, can you speak to that? Or maybe we should give you Tom's number to call about that.
Yeah,
Sure.
thanks for asking, Maggie. Sorry, the buy 3 and get 500 off was a Christmas holiday special, so that's not
it was okay. I wasn't
yeah.
seeing it. One of the other ladies saw it. Okay, so
Yeah, but
well,
but regarding the customs with Canada, yeah, you can email info@wavwatch.com. That's our support team.
right?
Or you can call the number on the website under the support page, and they can walk you through, tariffs and issues. But yeah, you will have to pay tariffs. I would say maybe individually might be better so that it's not all 3 at once. So you're each,
Okay.
dealing with your own postal service or tariffs would be my guess.
Unless you're all neighbors.
Yeah,
and then it
unless
might
you're
be
all
cheaper to ship it
Well,
all
we
to.
we all hang out at the same bar, and one of the 3 people is one of the bar owners.
So might
As
work.
in,
well,
I've
send
been
it
that
to
could
you
work.
talking to
there.
them for a long time.
All right.
All right. Okay, so that's what we'll do. I'll call support or info and it sounds like it's best for them to just order it individually.
Yeah, like if you all live together, or not, if you all live, like John
We're
said, in the
close.
same place, you could definitely do it together. I'm not sure which would be better for customs. And
Okay.
I know that's challenging, and we are working on something for that.
They would just put it under one name and if the other 2 would pay them for it. Yeah.
Yes.
So all right, that sounds
Okay.
I'm
Well,
so happy these 3 are about to order it. I can't tell you. I wanted to win the contest. I wanted to win one so bad for one of the ladies. And now she's got the money, she can actually order it. So it's good.
Oh, that
All
is
good stuff.
awesome.
All good stuff.
So glad
well,
that
we
you are
appreciate,
sharing and
appreciate you sharing it with friends.
Yes, okay. All right.
So we're going to talk about new friends today, more our pets, and animals around us. And this is really fascinating to me. But of course, before we start, I wanted to just remind you of our disclaimer. This is an acoustical frequency product. So it's the human hearing range between 20 and 20,000 hertz. And we can't say that it cures or heals or, we're just saying it as a self-care tool. And it does not diagnose. You are the person who was deciding what frequency that you want to play. And it's not a licensed medical product. It's a song player, basically. It's a really, really fancy song type idea because these are songs. They do sound a little bit like a bee buzz or an insect. There's 1,000 different sounds, and sounds are still considered experimental, even though they obviously I always say we were spoken into existence, so sounds have been here since the beginning of time, but they're still considered experimental by the FDA. And anybody that gives us a testimony has not been reimbursed for it. And once in a while, we're going to use a name in the booklet or when we're talking that, sounds like a medical name, but we have to use that in order to help you identify the frequency that you might want to play. So I hope I got that taken care of now. And we wanted to start out with just saying that for us people, we're usually going to wear it on the left hand. And because we know that we absorb energy through the left hand, it goes through our body, and then we actually share it with somebody on our right hand. So those traditions are ancient also, that we would hug people and, shake hands, that kind of thing, from left to right. And that evidently started with energy, knowing about energy from thousands of years ago. But today we're talking about animals. And so our big discussion is, how could you use these on different animals and at different times and at different places? And because these frequencies are like a song, your animal is going to respond to them if it's one that works for them, just like you would. But it's not going to upset their system. It's not going to make them go crazy or anything like that. These are just sounds, acoustical sounds. But the part that I thought was interesting is that there are other tools, obviously, for sound frequencies. And I don't know how many of those that you could actually even conceive of using them on an animal, because there's lots of cords, there's messy wires, there's patches that would fall off, they wouldn't stay on them. The internet isn't good for animals or people, and the animal just really would not sit still. Obviously you can't have a Rife system that's a big box, that costs you $15,000 and you have to sit and hold a couple of bars. None of those tools are going to be helpful for an animal. So again, what we're talking about today is people being creative and figuring out where and how they could use the WAVwatch for their animals. I thought this was kind of an interesting chart. These are some sound sources, and they actually show us, the sounds and the hertz. Obviously, the low ones are not in our hearing range. Some people can hear lower than 20 hertz. And some people can hear a little bit higher than 20,000 hertz. But most people are just a little bit more, off base than that. They can't hear, maybe they can only hear 30 to 19,000. So we do have different hearing ranges. But I thought this was kind of interesting that a dog barks at 400 hertz, insects are above. They make sounds that we can't hear normally, except for the cicadas. And I think you've probably heard that there's going to be a big storm of cicadas this spring. I'd like to learn a little bit more about that. We can't necessarily hear mosquito sounds. I mean, sometimes, but all of these are some basic information about low sounds, and then ultrasound is above 20,000 hertz. So there are several charts out there, and I just thought this one was an overall one that we could hear and could see to help us kind of relate to sounds just a little bit more. I'm kind of interested in the sound of a tornado. So again, my old teacher idea is raise your hand if you've been in a tornado. I can't see all of you, but the fact that they know the sound of a tornado, that's not something that quote unquote we're going to recognize, but we do know that it's a really low sound. And so anyway, sounds have always been fascinating to me. And the sound of the tornado was really fascinating because one time I was outside in my hot tub and I thought I heard the sound of a train. And, you know, I'm 20 miles out in the country. There's not any way that there was a train sound ever in that area. And later I found out that it was a tornado hitting a town about 25 miles away. So sounds do carry. They are amazing. And we couldn't go a day without sound and so many sounds. I also just noticed, you know, a hummingbird in flight is 90 hertz. We can hear, you know, those hummingbirds flying. And so it is amazing all the things that they've measured. They've measured everything. They know what the measurements are on every rock. They know the measurements of plants. We don't see any necessarily represented here, but they know the measurements of plants. They know the measurements of our essential oils, of our prescriptions. Everything has a frequency that they've been able to measure. So if you're interested in that, you can look it up all over the internet. I did want to share this one. I'm sorry, I needed to turn off something that was making too much noise. Is that a little bit better? I apologize. So I found a lady that specializes, or a website, and they specialize in using frequencies for wild animals. And the website is just fabulous. You can go there and see so much information. And so they were actually using a tuning fork with this bear. And there was a whole video. It was their video that I couldn't copy. It wasn't on YouTube, but the picture was available. So this wild bear would sit calmly while they were using a tuning fork that was basically tuned to 136.1 hertz. And this article is saying it's the Om. If you've gotten into that, that's that particular frequency. And it's especially good for wild animals. And they are saying that that is the frequency of the earth. There's some different ideas on that, but this is the Om frequency. And then I did try to give you the website there if you're interested in it. If you just remember the website, Earth Fire Institute. So people have worked with about 40 different wild animals and used tuning forks to calm them and to heal them and to change their lives. And so there isn't any reason that we couldn't be more alert to what's going on outside our homes and our, you know, areas and watch wild animals and see if we could make any changes in their lives if we see one that's hurt or injured like this particular one is doing. I had no concept that there was actually an institution which was working with wild animals. Any comments on that? What do you think about that, John?
It's really amazing when you think about it, that's for sure.
I mean, I don't know
So
if
much
I'd
that
want
we
to
don't
stand
even
out there with a
understand yet,
bear.
but it's really incredible.
I don't know that I'd want to be standing out there with a bear. So they've learned a lot of information. And I'm not saying you should do that if you're, you know, in the mountains and see a bear. I'm not sure saying that you should do that. But anyway, it was very, very interesting. So we have playlists already that are on the WAVwatch, and these playlists could be easily adapted to an animal that you are caring for or concerned about. Or you can use so many of the things that are already in a category with its own icon and just play through those. So the one that I would think would be the most helpful, you know, that comes to mind aside from some things that I'm going to be talking about later, but that would be Lyme's disease, because all kinds of animals are carrying Lyme's disease. It is rampant, not just in people, but in animals. And I will never forget that a friend of mine, her dad was a veterinarian, veterinarian, and he had a lot of vet students come out to his property, and they looked through, took samples of, everything that they could find on the property, all the animals that they could capture, and every single one of them was carrying Lyme's disease. So, you have a dog that lives out in the country, it runs up to you, it's always covered with ticks. So one thing that you could easily help your animals out on would be Lyme's disease. And there's already a playlist made for that. But some people know that their animals have different problems. So that's kind of what we want to share and talk about today a little bit. Now, I found this quote from this gal, Ina Segal, if I'm saying her name correctly. And she says, I have found that animals pick up on people's intentions and healing frequencies, as well as the sounds in their environment. And all of these factors can help them to relax and heal quite miraculously. So the animals are so much more attached to the earth. We try to go barefoot once in a while, and, it seems like it's more when we're on the, sand. And you can't go barefoot on the pavement very easily in the middle of the city. But our animals are usually tuned into the earth a little bit more, and they have the ability to heal sometimes faster than we do because they are closer to nature. They're absorbing different frequencies from everywhere. So my whole idea today is that we can share more frequencies with our pets, especially the ones that are inside. But we can be improving our health at the very same time. So you can work on them together. Okay. So these frequencies are not going to hurt you. They're not going to hurt your pet. If you play a frequency that your pet doesn't need, it just goes right on through it. Remember, it doesn't interact. But if you're playing something with Lyme disease and your pet has Lyme disease, those two matching frequencies will interact. And then they kind of self-amplify and either straighten out the frequency, they start vibrating in tune together, or they self-destruct, self-amplify. So again, lots of ideas that you could use on your pets. This is a testimony that I saw, and I thought I could try to copy it. I'm not very good copying something off of Facebook, but I thought we could look at this because it's a great story on how she used the WAVwatch for herself. And now she's saying, if you'll look at the very last sentence, do yourself, your family, and your pets a favor. Get the WAVwatch, you'll love it. So she immediately recognized that everybody could be helped with that. So, just the rest of her testimony. She had the watch for about a month. I was in pretty bad shape. I've been listening to wave music on YouTube for a long time, so I knew the WAVwatch would be better. Long story short, I feel revitalized throughout. My bone pain is gone for the most part. My strength is returning. I've been in a wheelchair for many years now from an accident. My my arms and hands are jerky and hard to control, but that's better now. The main thing I love about the WAVwatch is there's no prescription involved. I can't recommend the WAVwatch enough. So again, reading that last idea, that's how it all ties in. Do yourself, your family, and your pets a favor. Get the WAVwatch, you'll love it. So she's tying that in. But then these are some more. And I don't know if this is a stopping point. Joseph, were you able to find our link or anything for
Yeah.
the contest that we had?
Yeah, I've got some. Well, you could share that one, and we do have a
Okay.
couple questions we could take, and I could share what I found on Facebook from our contest.
Okay. All right. So Robin had shared this on Facebook, and you can see the picture. It's obvious she figured out how to put the WAVwatch on that dog. And that's what we need to be sharing is how can you get your pets to either sit still, to, hear the sound of the WAVwatch, or have a safe way to attach it to the pet so that they don't break it. You're talking about an expensive little tool here. So we have to, maybe those are some things that I'd like to share. And we've got some examples. But Robin said, we recently went on a 6-hour road trip, and poor Charlie started having anxiety, panting, and being restless. I put the WAVwatch on calming and anxiety, And in 10 minutes, he calmed down and was able to rest. I love this watch, and so does Charlie. Okay. All right. So we're at a stopping point then. Thank you so much, Robin.
That's a great story. It's hard when pets are anxious and yeah, you don't know what to do sometimes. So we have a couple questions we can take. Maggie, do you have another question about pets? Let's see, I think.
No, I don't. Did I,
Okay, no problem.
okay.
I just wanted to check. All right. And Pamela?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I wanted to first share my testimony with my pet.
Yeah.
He was dying of brain cancer, and it was on a weekend, and I wasn't going to be able to get him to the vet until Monday because I live in a rural area and there's not vets open on the weekend. And he had a couple seizures, which afterwards he would have severe anxiety, and I could tell he was hurting too. So I put my watch on him on the calming and anxiety. And like she said, just literally in a matter of a few minutes, it calmed him down. And then I ran the sleep one on him, and because he couldn't go to sleep. And when I ran that on him, it put him to sleep. And I couldn't believe it because he had been dealing with so much. He passed that Monday, but that weekend is what kept him comfortable and calm. And he was the love of my life. I had him for 14 years, and your watch, what it did for him on that weekend, just, I just appreciate it so much. It meant so much to me that that watch worked so good on him. But I actually have my own testimony too with the watch. And that is when my neighbor first put one on me. I just had 2 hip replacements within a matter of 3 months. And so I had that problem going on of needing the hips replaced. And then I also was having sciatic nerve episode down both legs. And I was just in utter agony for 3 months. I literally cried my eyes out because on a daily basis, because I was just in so much pain. And my neighbor knew this, and the doctors, there wasn't nothing they could do for me until they got me into surgery, and then eventually things would settle down. But mine, and I was taking a lot of pain medication. My neighbor put the watch on me, and I couldn't wait to knock on her door the next morning for when she got up so I could share with her. I didn't need a pain pill for 13 hours. I was completely blown away by how good the watch worked. And since then, I bought one, of course. After that, I bought one. And actually, it's the most important item in my house. And I'm actually getting ready to buy another one just because if anything ever, this one ever goes down, I'm going to make sure I have a backup. Um, but the watch has helped me. It not only, I believe that it healed my sciatic nerve problem. It's gone. And I mean, there was just no getting it better. I had been like that for a long time, and it's actually healed. And there's a few other problems that I was having too. With my doctor said I had the most severe hot flashes he's ever seen on a person. It has cured my hot flash problem. And so with doing the hot flashes and the hormonal balance, and then also on one foot, I had a toenail fungus. And first I never had one before. So I told my daughter, I think my foot's dying. And she looked at it, she goes, Mom, that's a toenail fungus. Well, I went to the doctor and I did so many different prescriptions. Nothing would heal that toenail fungus, no matter how I took care of it, no matter the holistic remedies I tried on it. Your watch, in a matter, I started wearing it in October, has now, it gradually did it, but it has healed that toenail fungus. And I am just amazed that that foot is healed. So your watch has done so much for me. I am so thankful. I really believe it needs to be changed to the miracle watch because to me, that's what it has been for my life. But I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for the watch that you've put out there because it's literally changed my life. And I have told many others about it. I've actually had a few other people order them from you guys because of it, but because it's changed my life. And the people who know me and know what I was going through, they see that the watch has changed my life. And so right now I'm getting off the opiates completely. First time in years I've been able to do that because I've had severe inflammation problem that is genetic in our family. And I used to have a pain pill every morning. As soon as I woke up, I would actually take one, wait for it to hit me, then get out of bed because I was in so much pain from head to toe. I have not had to do that for months now. And I'm
Oh,
actually at the point to where I am now getting off the pain pills for the first time in 25 years. And I have wanted off these pills for so long, and I'm halfway there. And I just want to tell you guys from the bottom of my heart, your watch has changed my life. Thank you so much.
I
Wow.
I started crying when you started talking about your dog, and then I kind of kept tearing up the whole time. Pamela,
It,
that was thank
it really
you.
has changed my life. It's
Wow.
changed my life completely. And I can't
Hmm.
even thank you enough because I was living miserably and I'm not no more. And my neighbor sees that. She says, Pam, you seem so much happier. She goes, it's all over your face that you're not in pain anymore. And because the pain was all over my face. And everybody that knows me, they just can't believe the difference. And I tell them it's all because of this. And I point to the watch. But I just truly want to thank you so much.
Well, thank you for for taking time to share that with us
Yeah.
today.
Thank you for your story. That's
My
very
whole
moving.
day. Oh goodness. Wow. All right.
Oh,
Thank you,
wow.
Lord. Thank you for frequencies. Thank you for helping us to create the
Mhm.
WAVwatch and to make it and to get it out to people. And then thank you for people like Pamela that share
Yeah.
ideas and how they've used it and succeeded with it. Thanks.
Hmm. Well, it's hard to know what to do after that. That was incredible. So thank you so much for sharing. And yeah. Well, I could share a few stories of pets here if you guys want to see some other
You want me to
testimonies.
you want me to stop sharing my screen then, Joseph?
I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So this, I don't, some of you who've been around WaveWatch know that in December we had a special for many days about frequencies, and there was a day where we said, "Hey, share with us about your pet." And so, furry friends love WaveWatch. Comment below and share your story. And so we had a lot of people engaging and talking both about their own experience. Somebody used it for Meniere's disease and body work on animals. I have an 11-year-old rescue pup. She has bone cancer. And so chronic pain frequency would be helpful for her.
Joseph,
So a lot of,
can you go up to the first one, the very last
Mhm.
paragraph? You missed it there.
Oh, if only I had, yeah. So she didn't have one. She was saying
Okay.
if she had it, he wouldn't have. Yeah. So,
Okay. She
um,
could have
yeah,
used it.
yeah. So let me find some ones that are that actually have used it. And so, oh, here's somebody that has a 19-year-old cat. She's having sight problems. They use the watch for blindness. She seems to do better. She also has arthritis and separation anxiety. And the watch seems to work for her when you put it near the, she will know it's working because she starts purring. Isn't that amazing?
Uh,
Wow. So it
and
looks
that's
like,
how they wrapped it around her.
yeah. So they
Okay.
put it on a collar.
So
Um,
my hope today is you'll see some different creative ways that people have figured out to put it on their pets.
yeah. And so um, let's see. Oh, yes. This one, Buddy, is a 15-year-old quarter horse who has sarcoid on the inside. He is so, oh, they're okay. They don't have a weight watch.
They
Let's
would
see.
like to use it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
But see how many people think that it could be useful, you know?
Yeah.
So these are people that sent in why their pet needs it. Here's an example.
Yeah. My 4-pound poodle has 3 legs, has arthritis, and they use the Wave Watch on her several times a week for pain, inflammation, and trauma. Also chemical detox. And that's how wearing the WAVwatch. Oh, look at that nice, cute little collar they've got.
Okay.
Um, all right. Okay, so somebody's just laying the watch right on the belly of their dog. He has a lipoma tumor.
Interesting that the dog is laying there too. So I think you
Mhm.
can kind of know that if your animals are very docile anyway, and they're in a safe spot, and you can even hold the watch on them, if you need to for a few minutes.
Um, Here's Anita says, my Great Pyrenees would love her watch. Oh, she has tried hers and she loves it. So
There it is.
yeah, no,
Okay.
that's a huge dog. So they're just putting the watch right around the foot,
The foot.
the front paw.
Okay.
Okay. So this there, I read this one already, is a long story about a dog that was amazing, and then now they have a shelter dog with anxiety from storms, any loud noise. The vet has tried Xanax and Prozac. It doesn't help. The WAVwatch said on calming and anxiety has helped a lot. She puts it on her
Right.
front leg. So yeah, definitely for dogs, a lot of calming and anxiety. All right.
There was one there, an anxiety
Yeah,
one.
yes. Separation anxiety. So she said, I bet this would work.
No, she said, once I put it on her. I'm sorry, we're both
Oh,
reading at the same time.
oh, we're in the same one or the wrong way. Okay. Well, there are just a lot, as you can see. And oh yeah, that's precious. Hmm. So this is a dog that was at a care home.
So what was the total of people that sent in information about their pets hoping to win a WAVwatch?
Well, we had
Oh,
about 60 on Facebook and another 20 on Instagram and others by comments and email. Oh,
now this one says before the WAVwatch when it stormed. So
yeah, I'm
I'm
not sure
hoping
if
that
there's an
means it
after.
did. Yeah, I'm not sure if that meant that it did help. Don't want to be
Oh,
making up things, but it seems
oh, and
like it. Oh, here's
here's
one.
Jerry. Oh, how precious. So Sophie's a little watchdog, too good of a watchdog who loses control when the UPS and FedEx show up. So using anxiety has kept it down to a few quick barks. That's amazing. Wow.
And so if you have a pet that you don't trust for the WaveWatch to be on, but you want them to get some benefits, hopefully you can touch the pet in some way and wear the WaveWatch yourself, if that would be safer, if they could sit beside you or you could sit beside them on the floor and you're wearing the WaveWatch on calming and anxiety or whatever you choose, then your frequencies from you wearing it are going to move right into that pet as long as you're touching it. Now, another way is for you just to set the WaveWatch on a countertop or on a lower coffee table or whatever. And that one you would have to have it where you can hear it. And this one would be absorption through the, hearing channels. So couple of different ways there. Now, I know a vet that actually has an older horse that he's trying to keep alive. And I said that wrong. He was a chiropractor. He's not a vet, but he actually just hangs the WaveWatch in the barn,
Mhm.
and the horse listens to it. And that's the way he decided it was safe to use that. So there might be some more creative ideas. And then JR has a few more things coming up here.
Yeah, so this is really powerful. So Lori shared that she has a collie who had a freak injury where his neck vertebrae was knocked out of alignment and then a blow to his cheek. It caused a nerve injury, which drew his eye into his skull. So this is a Horner's nerve injury. I've heard of this before. So they put his head on the WaveWatch. They ran nerve and facial paralysis, and the vet was amazed how fast he was recovering. So they went back to class after 2 months, and he's also a dance partner. He's a rally obedience dog. So he's still recovering, but this is amazing because several vet friends have said it would take 4 to 6 months, and it's been just a little over 2 months. Praise God for the watch. Thank you so much. So that's really sweet. I'd love to see a picture of Tucker. This one, Betty has a Yorkie who's 10 years old and she's itching. Oops. She's itching really badly. And the WAVwatch was able to help her with that. So there's a couple others I have here. This is one. This is a horse had dental issues. She's 22 years old, and there were x-rays showing the roots of the teeth. She couldn't eat her food because her mouth hurt, so she was spitting out hay. And so they created a favorites list with tooth and jaw settings. And now for 3 days, she is been okay. So for at least 3 days, she's been able to eat now. So that's pretty amazing. And so they put it around the saddle or like a strap, it looks like. So that's an amazing testimony for a horse because that's really challenging dental issues. And
I don't know if you did note, it said she turned the volume up. She stayed with her while she was wearing it and turned the volume up.
oh, that's good to know.
The very last sentence. So some people may need to do that, so we're just trying to provide a few more ideas on how you could use it. All right, here's another great one.
So Lisa said 3 of her clients have had beneficial use of the WAVwatch with their pets. This one looks like he has asthma and allergies issue, and sleeping on top of the WAVwatch is the quietest night he's had in ages. No wheezing, no stuffy nose. And he wouldn't let her get the watch. So, well, that's I think that's mostly what I had. And
So I don't think I've mentioned that idea is I guess it was safe to put the WAVwatch under an animal so that it wasn't moving around. So
that's a good idea.
Okay. Hadn't actually thought about that particular one. Well, that is where we're going with animals is, sharing some ideas there. So I've got just a few more things that I could share with you on my screen. So I'll do that again. But see where we're at here. This is part of the reason why is because we have enough frequencies, and you can play frequencies for anything. Like if your animal has, liver problems or kidney problems, the allergy one was an excellent one. It does seem like the ideas with anxiety and calming have been used the most, but there isn't any reason why you can't use any frequency that we use for humans for your pets also. So, just a quick little idea of how you can skim through the WAVwatch and find a setting. Don't forget there's 3 swipe screens. We still have a couple people that call once in a while and they haven't figured out how to use the swipe screens. So that's why I tried to make that obvious there. And then you can hear it at obviously above 8. Most people can hear it pretty well. I have a hard time setting it and hearing it on 4, but other people can hear it still on 4 sometimes, depending on the frequency. So you're going to change that sound as you need. And I just think it's something that you have to make the decisions on. And you may have taken your animal to a vet and the vet has told you XYZ, and then you can use that information. I just thought that was just an overall good little video on sounds and how we can be helped just as much from the uh, animals as we can help them. You know, so it goes both ways. We need to go out in nature more and sit and just absorb the sounds and have our feet again on the ground. It's called grounding. Or we can you know, listen to the birds or whatever, but we do need to be out in nature more to absorb the sounds of nature and the sounds of animals. And then we have sounds that we can share with them. So even if it's our own, you know, our own humming, those kind of things. So here's another one from a cat, and they were just laying she has arthritis in one hip. And so that was another testimony that somebody sent. Here's a testimony of a dog. And, you know, we've maybe gone through enough testimonies, but this is another anxiety one. But this one, Janie from Colorado just uses the WAVwatch set on a coffee table. Again, that's something that both her and the dog can hear. So it helps both of us at the same time. She also has allergies and, you know, fungus. And so she runs some of those. And then I think I've showed you this one several times. And this is my assistant's dog. And I think she told me his name was Tucker. So I hope I got that in there right. But she used anxiety because he had an accident. And you can tell, you know, he's having to stay very still and calm. And so the watch just fit on his wrist and he was laying around anyway. So that was a perfect way. She said he really did calm down. This one is another one. This is an example of really animals having, especially cats, having the ability to purr, and their frequency between 25 and 140 hertz is very helpful to heal our bones and joints and tendons. So this is my own sister-in-law, but this is a true story. So I thought that was really very interesting. And then this is the one on the horse. We've already seen it, but isn't that fabulous that the horse's teeth were helped? So that's why I'm saying don't be just limited to thinking about anxiety for your pets, although that is a huge one. But this one was a dental one. So we know if your, you know, dog is having a dental problem or your cat is, hey, you might try the dental ideas. You know, animals are just like us. They're whole beings. So energy healing is as good on animals as it is on people, but it works a lot faster because they don't have a lot of blockages and like we do. You know, we have so many, sometimes emotional, spiritual blockages that frequencies are a little bit slower. But with animals, they say that the healing is very, very quick. That's why when I started the program, I was showing you, you know, a service that they worked with wild animals. And because that healing changes quicker, it evidently they feel a safety factor. See, that's what would bother me, but they feel very, very safe. So obviously, as you know, when your animal is sick, you know, his vibration is lower, just like us as humans. So everything we say about an animal, we can be recycling it through and thinking about us in the same aspect. So if an animal isn't thriving, then they probably have something like parasites, viruses, bacteria, that kind of thing. And then we will have more and more problems with disease. Okay. Now the same, you know, they might have another animal in the house, but their frequency is correct or is where it's supposed to be. And so that other animal that you have in the house may not even have a problem, but one does. So the immune system is out of balance. And that's a good start also. So we have a lot of ideas for the immune system, and that would be a good one to play. And again, it's all set up in a folder and you can just touch it and it will go from one to the next one if you're working with an animal who you're not quite sure what is going on. But also, I think that the parasites are a huge one, to run the parasite frequencies for your animals as much as possible. And then run them for yourself. You know, you're getting double exposure if you can do that. So don't forget that you can use the detox folders on your animals also. They're out in the grass barefooted. And what if you've just sprayed your lawn, you know? So there are so many types of toxins that our own animals are picking up that we need to detox them once in a while. So if you're the kind of pet owner that gets to hold their pet at night, you know, on their lap while you're watching TV or whatever, you know, that's a great time to have it on you, and then be playing chemical detoxes or the whole detox folder, because that has to be affecting them also. And what about EMFs? How could EMFs not affect our animals also? So in my opinion, there probably isn't anything on the WAVwatch that wouldn't be helpful for an animal, because they're affected by everything that we are affected by. So I hope I'm just not, you know, rattling along too much. I'm trying to let you know that there's so many similarities. We live on the same world, you know, we absorb the same energies, we have the same toxins, and the list goes on and on. So this one was another one about cats and how they can help mend broken bones. But the reason I put this particular slide up in the source that I got it from is that this one is saying that cats also help heal soft tissue injuries to ligaments, tendons, and muscles. So I had mostly focused in on the bones. I was thinking to heal bones, but this scientific article was saying, no, it helps ligaments, tendons, and muscles. So isn't that amazing? The only, you know, a little bit negative part on the parasites are connected with cats a lot. So there are warnings that pregnant women should not have cats in their house. And so you do worry about parasites. But if you have the WAVwatch, you can hopefully keep your pet just a little bit less loaded with parasites, again, if they're going to be inside. So you can do two things at once with the WAVwatch. You can help heal that yourself possibly, and keep parasites at bay in them by using the WAVwatch. And then here was another one that I didn't know. Household pets raise immunities in babies. Babies who live with pets during their first 6 months have significantly lower chances of developing allergies and asthma. So I'm not sure exactly what that is, you know, from, but we have been talking about how our animals share frequencies with us as much as we can share frequencies from them by our touch. So animals are good. All right. I see, JR, you raised your hand. Joseph, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, we've got a few questions, and people wanting to ask a question if you have time. I don't know where you're at.
Sure do. I'm not sure. I don't have a clock with me here. So, all
Okay.
right.
Well,
So,
oh yeah, show that, and then we can go for some questions.
yeah, I have just a few more slides, and then we'll do that. Okay. So they actually have chakras designated for all of these different animals. I found this chart, and it's from Marianne Perini, if I'm saying that correctly. I tried to give credit there. And so this is another one that is very, very easy to do if you're working with any kind of animal, is to play through the chakras. So there isn't evidently going to be one animal that wouldn't be connected to chakras. They've been able to the word I guess I'm saying is map them out, show us where the chakras are on different animals. So that's a huge one. And you have basically a folder for that. You're just going to touch chakra and touch the top one, and it'll play through all of those. So that's a great idea. And then I found one more chart that is just kind of breaking it down. But see how much work they've done? They know these frequencies. They exactly know that our animals have frequencies in specific areas, and that those particular frequencies that we have on the WAVwatch will actually be helpful. So you don't even have to maybe guess if you don't know exactly what to play with your animal. You could just play the chakra frequencies, and it could be sitting on the coffee table where you could hear it, and you'll get the input from the chakras also. Or maybe if the animal is sitting on your lap, same type thing. So chakras are huge. And then I also found just a connection with the solfeggio frequencies. So those could also be played from start to finish, and that would help everybody in the whole house. So very, very important there. It just jumped. Sorry. So I think all right, I am ready to answer a few questions. There we go.
All right. Great. So we have an interesting one. This is about microplastics. So Guy brought up a good point that there are microplastics in our body that can break through the cell wall barrier. And how could we detox from those? Are there frequencies in the watch that you recommend? I don't know of specific ones. He suggested a lymphatic detox, but I don't know if you have any ideas.
That would be the main one I would think of, as the lymphatic detox, to get some of those out. But I'm like you, I don't know if we saw the same article, but it was kind of scary. I saw it maybe a couple weeks ago now. Did we mention it last week?
I don't recall.
I know. I know where I did talk about it on another program. That was it. But they have basically done another study, and they're saying every time you drink a bottle of water in a plastic container, even though it is, BPA free, whatever, that they have now found these micro nanometers. They're smaller than a nanometer, and there could be 250,000 tiny, tiny bits of plastic in everything that we drink. So I'm so glad I've been using these things for years, and I'm not don't drink out of a lot of plastic. But that is a great question. How to remove them is maybe a mystery. I'm not sure I have that tagged. Lymphatic would be the main thing. Detox, some of those detox folders might still be helpful, although they don't say, microplastics. That's as good as I'm thinking right now. Any other ideas? Maybe somebody, if they have an idea, can put that in the the comments.
In the chat or the Q&A.
Yeah.
So a couple are on parasites. You mentioned parasites and frequencies, and somebody said, would they still need to take their monthly meds for parasites, or what? I mean, obviously that's up to you, but
Yeah, I can't say that. I can never say, go off your medication or anything, but, we do take really good care of our animals, and we try to give them something for parasites every month. In humans, we don't do that. So if you have the WAVwatch, we do have some ideas that it has been very, very good for detoxing parasites from people in a short period of time. And so if you can maybe kind of do some experimentation a little bit. Some people do not feel that the medications they're giving their animals for parasites they're not sure about them. They're worried about them. So you could switch to the natural frequencies for a month or so and just kind of give it a trial and error and see if the animal needs both or one or the other would work.
Yeah. And then a couple just questions. One is my wife was diagnosed with parotid gland tumors. I'm not sure about that. I haven't heard of that, but you might know. She's been wearing the watch during the night, and they've put many combinations on it. But do you have any other suggestions for combinations to ease the soreness from gland tumors? Well, my thought
Are you
is,
saying parotid glands? Are you saying up here? I'm not sure if I'm
I think so.
understanding.
Perotid.
But I think it's parotid. So I'm trying to make sure I was talking about the right thing. So there is a folder for sore throat, possibly, laryngitis and things like that. So I would look for that one. And then please make sure that you play the pathogen icon. That's a whole icon. Hey, do you have a dog on your lap? You show us your dog there. Introduce your dog. There we go. So
He's getting kind of feisty.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've seen
no.
him before. Okay. So I'm not quite sure on anything else, but make sure that you have played the soreness and things like that. And I would also play the immune system support. That might be a good one. And somebody typed in microbiome, but I'm not sure. Did I miss something on that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Jerry, you've had your hand raised for most of the call. Did you have a question? I'll let you jump in here if you had a question. Jerry, you still there? That it may be that he raised his hand a little while ago and I just
Okay.
hadn't brought it up yet.
And I see somebody took the time to the frequency of microplastics. So maybe that's something
Oh,
that, yeah, we'll check that one out. All right,
yeah.
perfect. That was very, very helpful.
Yeah, thank you. And one other person had said, oh, oh, there's Jerry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yes.
you.
Oh, Linda, what kind of water do you recommend drinking?
Oh man, that is a hard one. I am still a confused person about that. You know, I have gone through some Kangen water. I have a friend that sells that and I use that. You know, she's given me that. And then, you know, we've got 2 or 3 different hydrogen type containers. I'd say I'm still a water experimenter, you know. There's so many ins and outs of it. So my apologies. I do not know exactly.
Thank you.
I change around. I don't think that everything is that you should just have one kind of water your whole life. I think some changes in water are good. Maybe it's a good way to say that. So sometimes it's hydrogen water, sometimes it's Kangen water, sometimes it's, you know, filtered water from a different source. As long as it is filtered, that would be an idea. It does need to be filtered in some way, change from what they are giving us.
Yeah, I would
And not
definitely
bottled
say,
water,
yeah, do
not bottled
not,
water.
yeah, no
Yeah,
bottled
not
What's
water.
bottled
what's
water.
the what's the condo? What kind of water? So
Kangan, Kangen
let's
water.
see, how do you spell that?
Kangan. And some people call it Kangen water, I think. So maybe a couple different ways.
Yeah. We did have a couple questions about anxiety or depression, and I'll just kind of give Kim shared that the adrenal folder may be helpful for anxiety and also magnesium. And I had mentioned, of course, you know, emotions, inflammation and trauma, sleep. You know, if you're not getting enough sleep, anxiety obviously is higher. Any other suggestions for anxiety or depression? I had a couple of questions on that.
Um, yes, I've had several testimonies on people that run the EMF in the detox folder. And when they run EMF, their anxiety goes away. So again, that's going back to all the 4G, 5G towers and how those are causing problems.
That's a great point. Yeah, EMFs could be related.
Mhm.
Absolutely. All right. I think we're kind of at the end here of our time, unless you have anything else, Linda, or
I think I'm kind of winding down. I had so much fun with the animals and how they nurture us. If we go outside and let them, they give us good frequencies. So I hope that at the end of the day, we're able to share with our loved pets. You know, when we have them for 14 or 15 years, obviously, they are so special to us, and so we want to put as much energy into them, and they'll give you energy back. So. Thank you
all
for
right.
coming on today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, just one quick wrap up to everyone. I will drop in the chat right now the replays, the links to that. So if we're wrapping this up and you want to see other videos, that's on Rumble and Facebook. I'll put the links there. And then lastly, if you are interested in buying a watch and you don't have one, you can also always go to our website and I will give the code to get $100 off. If you don't already have somebody that you know have a code from, just go to buy.wavwatch.com and that discount code is WAVwatch100. So
But if you have somebody that, you know, has a code, please use it first.
yeah, yeah, of course. But if not, there you
Mhm.
go. All right, great to see everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.